Hello and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Alison Chiwara. I'm the CEO and founder at Human Focus Limited, a company that is truly dedicated to creating happier, healthier workforces and workplaces all around, as well as superb communities. I want to think that this podcast is a place where truth does really meet with a little touch of tenderness, and thought leadership dances with a little bit of poetry at times. And I'm so glad that you're here today to join me. So take a little breath, because today I just do want to get a little deeper than I normally do. I want to talk about the mind in survival. So our minds, your mind, in survival. So talking about the things that are beyond the surface, into the places that really ache quietly beneath the polished exteriors that we show everybody. And today's reflection, well, a mind in survival mode cannot operate at its best potential or capacity. Do you hear me? I said for today's reflection, a mind in survival mode cannot operate at its best potential or capacity. I just want that to sink in. You see, we in life, we often admire the ones who keep going, I guess. You know, the ones who rise, even when the weight is so unbearable. We admire them, don't we? But sometimes what we're celebrating is not resilience, it's survival. And there's a significant difference here. And it's a deep, yet somewhat haunting difference. Let me tell you a little story of a woman that I know. Brilliant, bold, the kind who would walk in a room and the energy would literally shift towards her without saying a word. She was leading enormous teams, managing a household, smiling at strangers, and posting inspirations every morning. But inside, she was just surviving. Hypervigilant, exhausted but unable to rest. Perhaps productive, one may say, but disconnected from purpose. Does this ring bells with anybody? Does this resonate? That feeling of living on urge, waiting for the next thing to go wrong. She wasn't operating from vision. She was reacting to fear. And I feel that within the entrepreneurship and leadership ecosystems or environments, that is true for many, isn't it? It is true for many. When the mind just literally goes into survival mode, that could be from trauma, burnout, grief, financial strain, I don't know, microaggressions perhaps at work, or simply the weight of too much for too long. And that shifts. The brain stops creating. And it starts to put itself in conservation mode. It stops dreaming, it stops defending, and starts defending rather. You see, your brain, your beautiful, intricate brain, goes into protection first. And that protection, listen carefully, that protection cost us our absolute potential. We stop taking those risks that we should be really taking. We don't connect deeply anymore when we're in survival mode. We almost say yes to the things that we really ought to say no to. Because confrontation feels unsafe at times. So we're saying yes when what we mean is no. Just because confrontation is far too unsafe for us or feels unsafe. We micromanage, we shrink, we perform instead of lead. Does this make sense? Does it ring bells with somebody? And in business, we feel it, don't we? How many companies are built on survival culture? Where deadlines matter more than people's well-being. Where burnout is like a badge of honor. Where leaders are operating from scarcity to, fear and no strategy at all. Where innovation is literally stifled because people are afraid to fail. People are too scared to try something new because you're stopping to dream. You're no longer dream. You're no longer envisioning new things. You are in defending mode. And your growth is literally stifled. You see, a team in survival mode, I always say, cannot give birth to something new. A team in survival mode cannot birth excellence. Do you hear me? A mind in survival mode cannot fully lead others. And I believe that a leader who hasn't healed is often leading from wounds and not wisdom. That's dangerous too. But here's the beautiful and perhaps unspoken truth, is that in it all, while you're in survival mode, you are not broken. You're just responding to a world that has asked too much of you and is given you too little. Okay? And the beauty is recognizing survival isn't actually a failure per se. So it's the first step towards you going, okay, let me take a pause. I can do this. So the question really is, what state is your mind in, or what state is your mind truly operating from right now, in this moment? And I ask you to ask yourself this: am I alert or anxious? Am I focused, or am I living or operating from fear? Am I building, or am I just trying to hold on to the things that I've already built and I don't want to lose? And this is where we get very real with ourselves in the personal sphere. Here in this area, it shows up when we try so much to escape from the things that are pulling us down, when we ghost the things that matter because we're too tired to feel, when we keep starting over, not because we're inconsistent, but because sometimes we're just overwhelmed. You see, you cannot grow roots while holding your breath, can you? You cannot expand while constantly contracting to just stay safe. And you cannot access the deepest capacity of your nervous system when you're just trying to survive the day. It's hard, isn't it? So here's my invitation. As always, I always say, be gentle and be kind to yourself, but be honest with yourself where you're at. Stop asking yourself to produce like a machine when your soul is begging for rest. Oh, goodness me. Stop romanticizing the hustle when your heart is asking for just healing. In leadership, in business, and in life, sometimes we just need to get to the core. Because when we lead from wholeness, and not wounds. When we make space for stillness and safety, that is where our nervous system starts to trust us enough to release the fight. Does this make sense? That's when your true potential actually unlocks. That's when the real vision is birthed, not from fear, but from having that absolute clarity in what you wish to do. That's when your leadership becomes so effective, if I can say that. So if you're listening to this today, you're feeling like you've been, I suppose, holding it all together, as one may say, well, your capacity is sacred. But you cannot access your capacity through pressure. You have to create peace around you. You deserve to lead from a full cup, a overflowing cup, not a fractured soul. I absolutely say, I want you to start choosing to build lives, businesses, and teams that are not driven by a sense of urgency that does not exist or that is not needed, but in alignment with what you saw and envisioned as your vision. Just try to look at or redefine success that doesn't require us to abandon ourselves on the path to success. And most importantly is that I want us to also learn to honor the truth, which is a mind in survival is not weak at all. It's waiting to be held. It's waiting to be heard. And it's just needing a little bit of healing. That's all it needs, some downtime. Some downtime. So, until next time, I would love for you to stay grounded, stay open in your journey. You were never meant to just survive. You were always meant to soar right above the clouds. And to start creating, to start dreaming. And remembering that in living in survival mode, in working in survival mode, what it does cost us, sadly, is our absolute potential. Our potential to be the best version of ourselves, to be the most efficient leader in ourselves. Those deadlines, while they matter, do they matter more than your well-being? I ask you. The burnouts that we brag about and speak of as if they're trophies, like badges, are they necessary? But in it all, I remind you once more, you are not broken at all. You are simply responding to a world that asks far too much of you, and yet it gives you so little. I want you to be the leader that builds the team that continuously give birth to excellence. I want you to be the leader whose mind embodies leadership in its truest form. Are you operating in survival mode? Is my question. But be kind, be gentle, and be honest with yourself on this journey. Until next time, we will come back with more intriguing topics. But if you're a firm, if you're an organization looking for someone to come in and really nudge at the minds of those people that you're trying to serve and save, please do get in touch with us at info@human-focused.com. If not now, then when? Goodbye for now. From me to you, from Human Focus Limited to your organization, it's goodbye.